So in this video, I talk about my new vlog camera, the Sony RX 100 Mark III, and what I think about it. So I actually had a friend let me borrow his little compact point and shoot camera, but it's not just any point and shoot camera. It's the Sony RX 100 series, which features a 20.1 megapixel Exmor-R sensor, and me coming from a Nikon series, going to something more point and shoot. I would say here are my overall things I like about it, I don't like about it, and whether or not I think this is the best camera that you should buy with your money. There's things that I really love about it, and how easy it is to just turn it on, press record, and it also has an articulating screen which you can actually flip up and see yourself, and also flips down like that, and also it's retractable. That is pretty cool. On top of having a retractable screen, this camera can shoot at 1080p, 60 frames per second, and look at this, 120 frames per second at 720p, and yes, you have to upscale it, and it also features things that I really love, which my Nikon does not have, which is focus peaking, as well as internal leveler. In other words, you can see whether or not the camera is not properly balanced, which is something that the Nikon doesn't offer. And this Sony RX Mark III also features things like different image stabilization modes like active, on, and intelligence auto. Testing, steady shot on active mode. Because right now my arm is shaking, I'm not using a tripod. So what the Sony RX 100 can do is it can shoot in AVX HD, but as well as XAVC, which is in a higher bitrate to have even more things like pushing your colors. It also has neutral profile color pictures, as well as different modes in terms of vibration reduction, or what Sony likes to call steady shot, NFC, Wi-Fi capabilities, and even an electronic viewfinder where you can actually see what the video is going to look like in live view, as well as built-in ND filters. In other words, an ND filter, if you shoot outside, is crucial if you want to have that shallow depth of field and not really mess up things like your shutter speed or ISO, and still have it as 1/50th, which this Nikon does not have. And overall, this camera, I would say, I pretty much think this is one of the best vlogging cameras that you can get. I would choose this vlogging camera over a Canon G7X because Sony is known for things like better autofocus systems, as well as overall more video focused when it comes to having in-camera levelers, focus peaking, something that the Canon series does not offer, let alone Nikon. And my overall cons with the Sony RX 100 Mark III is that yes, there's some autofocus issues if it's on continuous autofocus, but it is a really silent autofocus system, and sometimes it catches me or it doesn't, but it doesn't hunt like this Nikon does. On top of having, I would say, autofocus, you know, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Another gripe about it is the battery life. The battery life on this camera, considering yes, you have to make the camera smaller, doesn't last that long. I would say it would last you maybe an hour or two continuous non-stop continuous recording. And another gripe about this RX 100 series is that if you turn on the camera, one of my gripes about this camera is if you turn it on and you close the viewfinder, the camera shuts off, which they fixed in the RX Mark V. And another gripe about, you know, these RX 100 series cameras is that the overall menu system is not the most user-friendly when it comes to like overall trying to figure out how do I change like this series, or how do I change, you know, turn off autofocus, how do I figure out this or that. And it's kind of a complicated menu with each of these panels having other panels within panels, so it does get overwhelming at times when it coming from a more, it could definitely be, in other words, a lot more user friendly. I would say who this camera is for your enthusiast YouTuber or vlogger. If you want to think about starting up a vlog channel, like, this camera is made for that. Look, it has a selfie screen. What other cameras has that besides the Canon G7X model? As well as, you don't have to worry about what kind of lenses to buy. You don't have to worry about what mic input because there's already a built-in mic system. And this is the camera that I recommend for people who travel, who vlog, and just want to just get into it without worrying about this or that. You literally turn on and you press record, and it's definitely not a bad place to start. This camera is not for the super video enthusiast who wants to worry about color grading, pushing colors, making sure that your highlights and balances is all that as a primary camera. If you have a bigger budget, I would recommend you get something along the lines of the Sony a6500 series or the Sony a7S series. But this is definitely a powerhouse, and you don't have to get the RX Mark IV and V. My name is Peter. We all start with nothing, but you can always create something.